The Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act. There we go. This would basically destroy AI, which would be pretty cool. New federal bill could require disclosure of songs used in AI training. Rep. Adam Schiff introduced the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act. If passed, it would require AI companies to disclose all copyrighted works used in training. Oh, no, no, no. By the way, all copyrighted works includes, like, everything. Like, everything, you know? In addition to the law already establishing that you cannot copyright things made with AI, this would be like the death knell of AI's incorporation into like larger projects, basically. Yeah, Thana, 100%. A bunch of AI heads have been screaming about this. New legislation, disclosure of copyright work, or face a financial penalty. Making the full list of everything that a model is trained on, by the way, is going to lead to so much online drama as like, okay, yeah, we'll make it public, and it's 50 trillion images, and you can like find, like, you're an artist and you can find where you are in that or whatever. Or like you could go out of your way to find stuff that had stolen your shit and like petition for the fine or whatever. That's genuinely so dumb, Vosh. Imagine if you had to list every song you've ever listened to when you compose your own song. Ah, well, you've forgotten a critical element, which is that we are people, and when we make new things, we are inspired by things before. Whereas AI is not people. They just copy and mix and match after being trained on copyrighted work. So a bit different then. It better be a big fucking penalty. I mean, it's more like the frequency, like how many tabs there would be. What problem could AI bros possibly have with this? Because then they would be limited to, first of all, it would make what they train on openly available. For two, it means that they would have to use exclusively non-copyrighted images, which would massively f up their ability to do what AI is meant to do, which is steal, right? And that's what AI is meant to do. That's what people on Twitter have been bragging about its use for, you know? Hey, Twitter artist, we fed all of your drawings into the algorithm, and now we can make your drawings, but worse, you know? But also very quickly. Quickly, but worse. Bro, AI art is not theft. The image it produces is original. You know, in a long ago and darker time, I would bother to argue with you degenerates. But thankfully now, as a wise man, I understand that you're not people, and you can't be reasoned with. Yeah, AI be like, I'm thinking at incredible speed, so you're a genius? No, I'm wrong, but faster. Exactly. The bill requires that a full list of copyrighted works in an AI model's training data set be filed with the Copyright Office no later than 30 days before the model becomes available to consumers. Okay, do you want to hear the real kicker? I know about this. The current language of this law means you would have to refile the full list of copyrighted works every time any more data is added to that algorithm, meaning that if you have a system that takes in new information constantly, you need to keep over and over and over and over and over again. It's impossible. The only way that generative AI systems could function is by doing very periodic updates, and even then they would still have to file like billions of images and stuff. This would also be required when the training data set for an existing model is altered in a significant manner. Financial penalties for non-compliance would be determined on a case-by-case basis by the Copyright Office based on factors like company's history of non-compliance and the company's size. Generative AI models are trained on up to trillions of existing works. In some cases, data sets, which can include anything from film scripts to news articles to music, are licensed from copyright owners, but often these models will scrape the internet for large swaths of content. Vosh, this is solely for protecting corporations? No, 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 no. Don't you get doomer on me now. This is, look, all law disproportionately benefits corporations, okay? This is broadly good. All right, I feel a bit bad for permanently banning that person. We have to have a few AI heads around. I can't be too grouchy. There you go, Zalik, you're back. We need a permaban for 10 minutes button. That's true, we do. We actually do need that. Anyway, these models will scrape the internet for large swaths of content, some of which is copyrighted without the consent or knowledge of the author. Many of the world's largest AI companies have publicly defended this practice, calling it fair use, but many of those working in creative industries take the position that this is a form of widespread copyright infringement. Yes, the debate has sparked a number of lawsuits between copyright owners and AI companies. A bunch of music publishers files a lawsuit against AI giant Anthropic for unlawfully exploiting their copyrighted song lyrics to train AI models. In the process of building and operating AI models, Anthropic unlawfully copies and disseminates vast amounts of copyrighted works, wrote lawyers for the music companies at the time. Publishers embrace innovation and recognize the great promise of AI when used ethically and responsibly, but Anthropic violates these principles on a systemic and widespread basis. I love the idea that imposing any amount of additional work on these companies would kill them, let them die. Yeah. Never tell an AI guy to do anything, you know? It's poison to them. Just never forget that, like, there have been so many instances where a prompt from some generative image company, some AI algorithm or whatever, will just generate like screenshots from a movie, you know? Like the idea that this is being done, like that it just perfectly blends this information or whatever, is bullshit. Like we're talking about something that grinds up and rehashes and then vomits out popular trends that it copies from, you know, and a lot of that is copyrighted stuff. And by the way, this wouldn't be allowed in other shit, right? Like all of the back end work that it takes to produce something, you can't steal all of that and then mush it all together and make something of your own. Like, I guess a good example of this would be, imagine if you wanted to make an animation, so you steal all of the animation cells from an existing animation and then rearrange them to make your own. Those cells are still copyright, you know? Like you're like all you're doing is finding a way to rearrange the information. That's called a YouTube poop. Yeah, okay, well, you know. Try licensing that. Well, no, the difference even then I would say is that a YouTube poop is fair use because it doesn't replace the it doesn't replace or tarnish the original commercial value and artistic intent of the work, you know? Easy peasy, right? It's creative work done by a human. But that's the difference, isn't it? You know, AI isn't creative work and it's not done by a human. Thank you, Rakomed. I really appreciate that. Vosh, want to hop on Discord so I can elaborate my point further? Absolutely not, Zalik. Oh, I'm very sorry, Rakomed. I'm not downloading anything chat gives me in a file hoster, okay? I thought you were sending me an image. I'm very sorry, Rakomed. To honor you, Rakomed, I will try to look up how to do it. You know, off stream. I will make it happen, but I could never do that. I'm sorry, Rakomed. Image it is. Racco, I'm not trying to force a bunch of work out of you. I thought it'd be really quick and easy. While many in the music business are also calling for compensation and the ability to opt in or out of being used in a data set, this bill focuses only on requiring transparency with copyrighted training data. Still, it has garnered support from many music industry groups. I just wish we could ban it, but you know, whatever. Including all of these. It's supported by creative industry groups. A number of rights groups have also weighed in on the introduction of the bill. Well, a bunch of people seem happy with it. But Larry and Jihad win? God, I wish. Computers were not meant to replace human creative work. Do you think it has legs? I mean, it's better than nothing. You shall not make a machine in the image of a human mind. True. Isn't the Butlerian Jihad supposed to be portrayed as bad? Yeah, if you're a nerd. We're at the end of meaning. No, we're not. Don't be doomer. Well, I'm glad the corporations are leading the charge on this. Stuff actually tends to get done when they do. Oh, thank you, Rakomed. Thank you, Rakomed. That's actually very helpful. Okay, I'll do that after stream. Does Vosh believe in the singularity? Nerd question for nerd losers, respectfully. The singularity is an abstract nothing idea cooked up by sci-fi writers who have drug dependency issues, meant to make people feel like we're gunning towards something larger than ourselves. There is nothing larger than man. You know, it's just, you know, you guys are recreating religion, but like in the future, I don't buy any of this, okay? What happens. The material conditions of human life and its relationship to technology are, you know, variable and subject to change. We'll deal with it as it comes. 2 men? You're right, 2 men are larger than 1 man. What about elephant stingus? Okay, you're tearing me apart here, okay? You're tearing me apart. Literally the entirety of Silicon Valley AI bros are extremely influenced by Nick Land's anti-humanist AI philosophy. Yeah. Like that Peter Thiel Great Cathedral shit. Yeah, they all think that they're like the messiahs of the great, you know, the great AI singularity. They're ushering in. These people are all freaks and weirdos, you know? Need you to understand, chat, none of this generative AI stuff has really brought us any closer to actual artificial intelligence. Yeah, no, they just share like a language commonality. There's no actual, yeah. And generative AI still has yet to do literally anything good for anyone. You know, it's been around for years and all it has served. The only time it was ever useful and produced joy was when it was those like DALL-E like 9 images that shittily recreated something, you know? That was the only time. When it sucked, basically, yeah. Morally, do you think pirating is better or worse than AI? So what do you mean by worse than AI? Do you mean like than using generative AI to just copy something basically? Yes, pirating is better. Absolutely, 100%. I don't know if those two things are really comparable though, but like sure, if I had to weigh between those two things, yes. Yeah, Quoteth, that's what we were talking about. I just use AI to write furry femdom. Is that moral? No. Like, unironically, no. I know it's a stupid joke prompt because you're 16 and you're trying to bait my attention, but no, that's not moral, actually.